Beware the Ides of March. Lay a little Shakespeare on you. Anyway, I'm going to be very brief on this video. Last night we watched Coming to America 2. Oh, God, was that brutal. I didn't even think Coming to America 1 was that great 30 years ago, but Coming to America 2 was just horrendous. But it made me harken back to a simpler time. And I had to actually Google the date on this. But there was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, Eddie Murphy actually played Boston Garden, and I actually had the pleasure of seeing it for myself with my own two eyes. And what a night that was. People ask me all the time, nobody's ever asked me this, but Luke, hypothetically, Luke, what was your favorite night ever at the Boston Garden? And it was the night that Eddie Murphy came to the Garden and performed. And he did about an hour and a half. And so I was just out of curiosity, especially after I made the video yesterday about Hagler, I was trying to figure out, well, that was probably the same year. So you had 1987. So when I Googled the date, that 1987, it was 2 weeks before the concert film for Raw came out. And my job that night, if you ever watch that movie, that concert film, you see they're selling the shirts and all that, whatever, before the show, and they show them walking into the arena like it's a prize fight. But anyway, that was what I did that night. Was I sold his T-shirts, his sweatshirts, and all that bullshit. I did that down in the North Station where the trains pull in there inside the garden when you come in, and so I did that before the show started. One of the perks of that job was when you were done, you get to see a free show, which I took full advantage of. Not before partaking. Not before partaking in the wacky tobacco, which we tended to do quite a bit outside before I went back inside. And my God, I went up. I wanted to see if the limos were already there, so I knew he had already come in. But I think I got up inside the garden probably about a half hour before he came out. And, he didn't have that crazy suit that he wore, that you see in the purple leather suit in the show. I think I just come out all dressed in black or something like Johnny Cash or whatever. But my God, that was the funniest night. And I think 20 minutes into it, I had tears rolled down my eyes. It was so funny. This is before Raw had even come out. And what I kind of remember, it's over 30 years ago, so it's hard to remember too much. But what I do remember was most of his jokes were related to Boston and about just things that, it was just off the top of his head. It wasn't anything. When I saw Raw a few weeks later, there was nothing in that show that I could remember, because I'd seen it 2 weeks later, that was anything connected with the Garden show at the Boston Garden. And probably because the Raw movie was probably filmed the year before. And what I saw 2 weeks earlier was probably stuff. He probably was talking about stuff that had happened within the last year or whatever. So that is my favorite night. A 21, 22-year-old Eddie Murphy just ripping the Boston Garden apart. And that was just my favorite night that I ever experienced at the Garden in my 7 years there. That's it.